Good morning, it's Thursday the 4th of September and this is your news today. Coming up, breaking news in Portugal, a horror railway crash claiming multiple lives. Plus, see the moment a brand new luxury yacht sinks minutes into its maiden voyage. And Reese Walsh causes another splash, doubling down on his toilet bowl saga.
We begin with breaking news in Portugal, where 15 people have been killed after a popular cable car derailed in the capital, Lisbon. Let's go live to 9 Europe correspondent Edward Godfrey in London. Edward, what is the latest you've heard?
Well, Sarah, this is just a horror incident that happened not too long ago, and you can see from those images just how bad and how big that scene is. Portuguese authorities have just confirmed 15 people have been killed and 18 others injured, many of them serious. It's the popular Gloria funicular in Lisbon, Portugal, which somehow came loose and crashed. It connects downtown Lisbon to Barro Alto. The cable car left in a twisted wreck. Locals among first responders desperately trying to help. It's still virtually peak tourist season there with the warm weather, so it's still very busy with locals and tourists. There are reports a cable came loose, causing it to lose control and hit a building. It is quite old. The Gloria funicular has been operating since 1885. The cause, as I say, believed to be a cable which has come loose, but it isn't confirmed. Emergency workers are still on scene. I've been told it has derailed before, but there's been nothing like this before. Emergency workers will remain on scene right throughout the night, Sarah.
Thank you, Edward.
Now to a new twist in the manhunt for accused cop killer Desi Freeman. His wife could be facing police charges for obstructing them. Live to 9, Melbourne reporter Stephanie Wacklewick. Steph, good morning to you. Police are saying she isn't being much help at the moment.
No, that's right, Carl. And as you say, Marley Freeman could now be charged with obstructing police. There have been no confirmed sightings of the accused cop killer, Desi Freeman, as the search in Victoria's High Country enters its 10th day. Now, police say Marley Freeman was there when 2 police officers were fatally shot. They're now compiling a brief of evidence, and they say she could be charged in due course. Now, Police Chief Commissioner Mike Bush hasn't ruled out a reward. He says they are considering every investigative option. Carl.
Stephanie, thank you.
A daycare centre in Sydney South is under investigation after allowing a grandparent to pick up the wrong child. For 2 hours, the 1-year-old was missing. The mix-up only discovered when his mother came to collect him. A former employee had previously reported the centre to the regulator for unsafe adult-to-child ratios and poor staff training. A bike-riding vandal has struck in a bizarre roadside act on a Gold Coast street, targeting 2 men who were out fishing. Caught on camera, the pair can be seen dropping 2 metal spikes under the resident's tyre and 20 minutes later returning to target his friend's ute.
At first I thought it would have been like kids. When I saw it was a grown adult, I was shocked, and with his kid as well.
Both men have been left to foot the $600 bill. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has slammed protesters who marched to his home demanding an end to the war as extremists and fascists. Relatives of hostages who want a deal to bring their loved ones home, saying, "You didn't pick up the phone, so we came to you."
The fallout continues this morning after former Premier Dan Andrews was given a red carpet welcome by China's president at an extraordinary parade of Beijing's military might. Let's go live to today's federal politics reporter Liz Daniels. Liz, good morning again. Former Foreign Minister Bob Carr was also in Beijing but says he chose not to attend the parade.
And he is defending that decision to go, saying he accepted an invitation to Beijing to commemorate Japan's surrender in World War II. But part of China's commemoration was that parade, an exhibition of military might with precision choreography. President Xi hosting a gathering of leaders that included North Korean dictator Kim Jong-un and Russian President Vladimir Putin. They shared the red carpet with former Victoria Premier Dan Andrews, a photo opportunity Bob Carr says he deliberately steered clear of.
I certainly would have avoided them if they were on notice possibility. I was here for the terrific meetings that I've been able to hold today with countries that are like-minded, not countries that are aggressors or oppressors.
And Liz, this was a clear message from Beijing.
Carl, it was a deliberate display of an enormous arsenal and cutting-edge war technology, from robot wolves to long-range missiles, a military warning to the West from President Xi as he stood shoulder to shoulder with authoritarian leaders from across the globe. That is why Dan Andrews' presence is being criticised. The Prime Minister, of course, has also recently visited China, Carl, but that was for a very different cause. And he was in very different company.
That's for sure, Liz. Thank you. A brand new luxury yacht has lasted all but 15 minutes on its maiden voyage off the coast of Turkey. Check this out. The $1.5 million vessel slowly started to tip as panicked passengers and crew jumped overboard. Fortunately, no one was injured.
Quite the mess, isn't it? Well, victims of Jeffrey Epstein have gathered in America's capital, insisting they will release the names of his associates themselves as calls grow for more of the so-called Epstein files to be released. Let's go live to US correspondent Jonathan Kersley. Jono, this is an issue the president can't seem to evade.
It's not. He still insists it is a Democrat hoax. Today we saw a number of victims of Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell march their way onto Capitol Hill, calling for what they say is justice and transparency. Some of these women were aged just 14 when they say they were abused by Jeffrey Epstein. They are calling for the release of all documents held by Donald Trump's Department of Justice. Of course, the president held a relationship with Jeffrey Epstein back in the 1990s. He's long denied any nefarious association. But now some of the Epstein victims are putting forward a fairly ominous warning. Here is what one victim had to say earlier today.
We know the names. Many of us were abused by them. Now, together as survivors, we will confidentially compile the names we all know.
Yesterday, 33,000 pages of the Epstein files were released, but that was just 1% of what the Department of Justice holds.
Jono, thank you.
A Los Angeles woman dubbed the Ketamine Queen has this morning pleaded guilty to illegally selling Friends star Matthew Perry the drugs that killed him. It comes nearly 2 years after the actor was found dead in a jacuzzi at his LA home after that fatal dose of ketamine. The woman will be sentenced in December. Police in Melbourne are after this man accused of a string of robberies in the city's southeast. It's alleged the man is one of 3 offenders who went to homes in Parkdale, Brighton East and Bentley East in a stolen Jeep, stealing a gun, electronics, jewellery and cash. A proposed shake-up to federal parliament could mean longer terms, extra MPs and a referendum to make that happen. The Labor government now considering a fixed 4-year term, which has previously been controversial. The last Prime Minister to consider such a move was Bob Hawke back in 1988. And Broncos star Reese Walsh is causing another splash, doubling down on his toilet bowl saga by posting an AI-generated photo of himself as a plumber. Days after sharing a video of him drinking from the bowl, Walsh swapped his profile picture to a snap of blue-collar Reese in his plumber's gear.
Looks like a character out of Boogie Nights.
I just don't want to see that vision anymore.
Yeah.
Well, heartbreak at the US Open, unfortunately, where moments ago our last surviving Aussie, Alex de Minaur, bowed out in the quarterfinal.
The Demon started strong, grabbing the first set, but couldn't hold off in the remaining sets. The Canadian sealing the deal in 4 sets, finishing with a tense tiebreaker.
Makes a return to the US Open semi-finals.
And that sadly ends de Minaur's brilliant run in New York, leaving him searching for that elusive major semi-final berth.
And we are just hours away from the first bounce of the 2025 AFL Final Series. You can feel the heat. You can feel the heat. It all begins in Adelaide, where the Crows take on the Pies.
Deep breaths. Let's go live now to 9 Adelaide reporter Josephine Shannon, who joins us outside Adelaide Oval. Josie, good morning to you. The Crows fans, they've waited 8 long years for this game.
Morning to you, Carl and Sarah. They certainly have. They've waited, like you say, 8 long years since 2017 to get a taste of September finals footy. They've already won the minor premiership, but of course all eyes now turn here to Adelaide Oval for tonight's fiery clash against Collingwood. Now, this is such a fierce rivalry between these two teams. Fans can expect boosted security. We saw the Collingwood team arrive here to Adelaide Airport yesterday afternoon, and the Black and White Army will fill around 15,000 seats here. And it's also Tex Walker's 300th game, so it really is a blockbuster match. I've got my flag here for the Crows. All we have to do now is win.
Nice laugh.
That was a bit of a nervous laugh at the end there, Josie. We all noticed
I don't think it was nervous. I think it was confident.
Confident, you reckon? A bit cocky, hey? All right, we'll see, we'll see. You're on, Josie, thank you. Well, let's take a look now at the weather right across the country, and cold and showery conditions across the southeast corner are bringing rain for Melbourne, Hobart and Adelaide.
Settled weather on the way elsewhere with a mostly fine day ahead for Brisbane, Sydney, Canberra and Perth.